What's up guys, welcome back. When I go out to eat at an Italian restaurant, one of my favorite choices is chicken parm. So today I'm gonna show you how to make this delicious, perfectly crispy fried chicken topped with fresh mozzarella from the comfort of your own home, even better than what you get at the restaurant. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. All right guys, meet me in the kitchen, let's make it happen. First things first, we're gonna take a look at these ingredients. Here we have some chicken breast that I got from my local Harris Teeter here. We've got an onion. I'm gonna serve this up with some spaghetti, but you can use whatever pasta you wanna serve this with. We have garlic, fresh basil, tomato paste, a can of crushed tomatoes so we can make our marinara from scratch, some fresh parmesan, and some fresh mozzarella.
And this episode is sponsored by HelloFresh. HelloFresh delivers fresh, quality produce from the farm to your door in less than a week so you can savor summer flavors right from home. HelloFresh now has 30 dinner recipes to choose from each and every week, and that is the most of any meal kit. Discover seasonal summer recipes like cucumber salad stuffed pita pockets, chicken sausage stuffed peppers, Tuscan spice shrimp, and so much more. Save time, money, and stress. HelloFresh won't get in the way of a busy day. Stay on track with simple recipes and fresh pre-portioned ingredients that cut out meal prep and trips to the grocery store. HelloFresh also offers veggie, pescatarian, and fit and wholesome meals to make it easy to stick to your goals. I know HelloFresh makes my meal prep so much easier during the week, and I think you'll enjoy it too. I've been using HelloFresh long before they were ever a sponsor of this channel. So go to HelloFresh.com and use the code MrMakeItHappen16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts.
We're gonna get the party started by making our own marinara sauce from scratch. This is one of the small things that you can do at home to get yourself restaurant quality product. We're gonna go in with about 2 to 3 tablespoons of good quality olive oil. We're working over a medium-low heat here. We don't want it to be too hot because what we're gonna first do is toast this minced garlic. So I'm going in with about a tablespoon or 2 of freshly minced garlic. The fresher, the better. We just want to allow that garlic to infuse its flavor into the olive oil. So we don't want to brown it. We just want to gently simmer it to allow it to infuse or release some of that flavor into that olive oil, which is going to flavor the remainder of our sauce. This is about 4 cloves of garlic in total. You can add as much or as little as you like, depending on how much you like garlic. The next guest to arrive at the flavor party is going to be 1 diced onion. You can use yellow, sweet onion, whatever you got is fine. We're gonna work that in and allow the onion to start to get tender and sweat down a bit. Right now your house is gonna be smelling amazing because garlic and onion always release a nice fragrance. The next thing we're going in with is a little bit of red pepper flakes. I like to add the red pepper flakes a little bit early. That way they kind of wake up a little bit once they hit the olive oil. They kind of rehydrate a bit. This is optional, guys. If you don't like any spice, you can totally leave these out. After the red pepper flakes, we're going in with about 2 tablespoons of good quality tomato paste. That's gonna add a nice concentrated tomato flavor and help thicken up the sauce a little bit. Super simple, really easy to do at home, and it's way better than the store-bought stuff. You can make a bunch of this in bulk and put it in a mason jar, store it in the fridge or the freezer. Next up, we're going in with 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes. Make sure you get all of it out of there. And we're just gonna mix to combine. Still working over medium-low heat, guys. This is not a race, it's a marathon. We want to allow this sauce to simmer for as much time as you have. If you're in a rush, you can probably get away with like 30 to 45 minutes. But if you have a couple hours, it's totally worth it. I like my marinara sauce nice and chunky. If you don't want it to be so chunky, you could add a little bit of beef broth or a little red wine or a little water, something to thin it out a bit. Or you can put it through the blender to kind of smooth out the chunks. But for me, this is how I like mine. Next up, we're gonna add a little bit of seasoning. I have some Italian seasoning in my all-purpose seasoning. If you don't have this, you can use whatever your favorite all-purpose seasoning is, or a simple blend of salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder will get the job done. And then we're going in with some fresh basil and just let this simmer away for a little bit. Oh man, it smells good in here. Let me know in the comments if you tend to make your own sauce from scratch at home or if you typically buy the stuff from the store. If you do buy it from the store, let us know in the comments what your favorite brand is. All right, so while we allow that sauce to simmer away, we're gonna go ahead and butterfly the chicken breast. This step is optional, guys. You could just flatten it out, how I'm gonna show you in a second, and leave it whole, but I prefer to butterfly the chicken. So what you're gonna need is a nice sharp knife, something like this beautiful one that I'll have for sale here for you soon. You're gonna place your hand on top of the chicken breast and your blade on the side, and just, you know, slowly slice into it, and we're gonna butterfly it. And there's two ways you could serve this up. So the traditional method, or the more traditional way that people serve chicken parm, is kind of like a real big piece that's kind of flat. If you ever seen Gordon Ramsay's method, that's kind of how he does it. So you butterfly the chicken like so, and then Gordon would leave it whole just like this, pound it out, and you'll have like a plate-sized chicken parm piece. But for us, we're gonna cut it right in half. That way we have two portions. Okay? So at this point we have our butterflied chicken breast. Now there's two methods you can use. You can go with the Ziploc bag, which in my opinion is the easiest cleanup, or you could fold saran wrap over this. But for me, I'm just gonna go with the Ziploc bag, place the chicken breast right on in there. So now we have the chicken breast safely in the Ziploc. All the air has been removed, and all I need now is a rubber mallet, like so, or a textbook that I never used when I was in community college. Whatever you got that's heavy, you want something heavy and flat that you can kind of flatten out the chicken. Take out all your work frustrations and just flatten out the chicken breast. All right, so as you can see, we have a nice flat and even piece of chicken. That's exactly what you want to see, even all the way through, flattened out. And we're gonna season this up. I'm going down with my all-purpose seasoning, but again, guys, if you have your own favorite all-purpose seasoning, by all means use that, or just a little simple salt and pepper will get the job done here. So AP seasoning going down, and then we're gonna hit it with some Italian seasoning. And that's all you're really gonna need, a little AP and Italian. If you have a special blend that you like on your chicken, then by all means, it's your kitchen, do your thing, but we're gonna keep it nice and simple here. Once you have the chicken perfectly seasoned like so, we're gonna set that aside for about 30 minutes, pop that in the fridge, and let that seasoning kind of penetrate the meat a little bit. And then we're gonna go ahead and get ready to fry this. So as you guys can probably hear, we have the spaghetti noodles up to a boil. Always make sure you salt your pasta water. While we let that cook, we're gonna go ahead and prep our frying station. So what we have here is 3 bowls, as you can see. We have our all-purpose flour in 1 bowl, about 2 cups of that, and then 2 cups of panko breadcrumbs, 2 eggs, with about 1/4 cup of milk, or half and half. All right, so when I'm cooking, I'm always thinking about ways to layer flavor. So we've already seasoned the chicken. We've got a delicious sauce cooking. Now we're gonna add some seasoning to our flour mixture. So I'm going in with some all-purpose or just a little salt and pepper. One of my secret ingredients for poultry, we're gonna add some chicken bouillon powder. This is gonna amplify the flavor quite a bit and just overall, you know, enhance the flavor profile here. There's also a little MSG, so it's kind of cheating, but I like it. We're also gonna add a little bit of Italian seasoning, and that's it for our flour. When it comes to the panko breadcrumbs, we're gonna hit that with just a light dusting of all-purpose as well. And then my second pro tip for you guys is some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. We are making chicken parm, right? So that's why it has its name. You gotta sneak in a little fresh Parmesan in here. And I love to do it by adding it to the breadcrumbs. It's gonna add a nice golden brown color to the fried chicken and tons of flavor. Parmesan also has quite a bit of saltiness or sodium in it, so it's gonna flavor the breading as well. About 1/2 cup or so. All right, so as you can see, we have our station all mapped out and organized. I'm gonna take the chicken that's been seasoned directly into that seasoned flour. Make sure you coat it nicely. no bald spots. And then from the seasoned flour, we're gonna hit that egg wash. Like so. Make sure it's coated nicely in that egg wash. And then from there, we're going right in to the breadcrumbs with the Parmesan nestled in there for added flavor. And when I go into the breadcrumbs, I really want to press this in. It's really important that you have a nice crust on your chicken parm. So I'm going to really be intentional about this and firmly press in the breadcrumbs here on both sides. And that's exactly what you want to see right there. We're going to place this on an aluminum foil lined baking sheet and let that hang out while our oil comes up to temperature. All right, so we're looking for 350 degrees on our oil. Quick pro tip, guys, if you ever overshoot your oil temp, just add a little room temperature oil to the oil that's a little too hot and it'll reduce the temperature overall. Here comes the chicken. Lay that in there gently. And we're looking for it to get nice and golden brown and beautiful. Probably about 4 to 5 minutes total cook time since it's nice and thin. The chicken breast is done once it reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees. I just like to check it for color there. Another quick pro tip, if you see any spots like this that are a little less cooked or a little lighter, you can kind of baste it with some of that oil and that'll help it catch up color-wise. Once you got the color right where you want it, this is about perfect for me. So once the chicken comes fresh out of the oil, you always want to hit it with just a little bit of finishing salt. Next up, my friends, we're going down with a little bit more Parmesan cheese, because why the hell not? We're here for a good time, not a long time. A nice thin layer of that Parmesan cheese while the chicken is piping hot. Oh man, this is gonna be good. Next, I like to add just the smallest bit of marinara sauce right on top before we add our mozzarella. Maybe like a tablespoon at most, guys. You don't want to put a whole lot on there. So just be careful as you're adding it. And now, for my favorite part, the fresh mozzarella. Don't be shy with this stuff. There we go. And you can pop that into the oven under the broiler for a few minutes and allow that cheese to start melting. Or you can put it on 400 if your chicken's not done. Mine is done, so it's going under the broiler. Now, if you want to have some real fun, you can break out the blowtorch instead of the broiler. You guys know I like to show off a little bit. I like to see a nice golden brown. Let that cheese melt nicely, get brown, bubbly, and beautiful. Again, guys, you can do this in the broiler, probably a little bit safer too. But this is kind of fun. Now that, my friends, is how I plate up my chicken parm with a spaghetti side. This is the part where I say brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Say it with me, guys. Looking good. Going down with some more freshly grated Parmesan cheese, the way the good Lord intended. Don't be shy with this stuff. And then last but not least, for a little pop of color, you can go down with some basil or some fresh chopped parsley like I'm using today. Oh man, doesn't get much better than that, my friends. And now it is finally time to dig in here for a taste test. I found my fork and my knife, but before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. Here we go.